Hello there and welcome to this Independence Anniversary edition of Eye on Port. Here we talk about international trade, we talk strictly about port and maritime business, both in this country, in the sub-region, on the continent and in the world at large. The program is proudly brought to you by Star Assurance, also West Blue Consulting Limited and Ghana Oil Company Limited. Ghana Oil Company Limited, folks, I should remind you that they offer you the best of good energy to the extent that they make you smile anytime you get your share of Ghana Oil, that's GOIL, from the station. So continue to purchase and patronize GOIL. After all, it belongs to this Ghana that we are celebrating. Also, Ghana Community Network Services, GCNet, is a proud sponsor of this program, and they support technically Ghana to gain revenue from the various businesses that we all do in this country. Now, this week, we are going to concentrate on some strike action by the various trading associations in this country because the traders had some concern.
Most businesses in Accra and Tema grinded to a halt after the Joint Private Business Consultative Forum, comprising members of the Ghana Union of Traders Association (GUTA), Importers and Exporters Association of Ghana, Food and Beverage Importers Association of Ghana, Ghana Institute of Freight Forwarders, Customs Brokers Association of Ghana, and Concerned Freight Forwarders Association, among others, began a 3-day strike in the country. The strike action, according to them, was to protest government failure to engage them over the introduction of new and increase in existing taxes. A meeting with the Deputy Minister of Trade and Industry to resolve the concerns of the various trade unions proved futile. Meanwhile, the Executive Secretary of the Importers and Exporters Association of Ghana has revealed that negotiations are underway between the various trade unions in the country to embark on a nationwide strike over high taxes if government does not fulfill its bargain by addressing the issues.
Even if government is saying that what we are requesting is too much, he should be able to come back to us and tell us that you gave me 5 things, I was able to get 2 out of it, I was able to get 3 out of it, or I was able to get 1 out of the 5. I don't want to use the word disrespectful to us, but I think I can say, the company say that we are disappointed in the response or in the report so far with the Deputy Minister.
The trade associations raised concerns such as a 3% special import levy, which was only to be in existence for 2 years, from 2013 to 2015, a 2.5% increase in value-added tax, VAT, stamp tax and excise duties, and so on. He said these taxes are excessive and inimical to the operations of traders.
The duties Ghanaian importers are paying, or the importers who bring cargo to this country are paying, and the other taxes, the other domestic taxes, is too much, it's overburdened.
He called on government to rescind its decision since traders in the country are overburdened with several taxes which are killing their businesses. Meanwhile, most traders on Monday, 29 February, held a sit-down strike and closed their shops, while clearing agents and importers decided not to pay any import duties at the Tema port, while they held red bands in their hands. The strike lasted till Wednesday, March 2nd, 2016.
Well, so those were the concerns of the various trading associations in this country. GUTA and all the others, had this particular problem, and so they decided to embark on a strike. They even planned embarking on a nationwide strike if government does not heed to their concerns. So Eye on Port sat down with the Deputy Trade Minister to find out about, first of all, whether indeed they took notice of this strike action in particular, and also what they are doing to prevent a nationwide strike.
Well, it has come to our notice to the extent that we have engaged these groups. We have engaged GUTA, we have engaged the Ghana Import and Export Association, we've engaged all the associations and the unions, that matter on the issue of businesses, either export or import, or even retail businesses in Ghana. You remember a month ago, GUTA held a press conference and threatened that they were going to embark on strike if certain things were not done. I was surprised, as a matter of fact, and then I put a call to the president of GUTA and actually met even their general secretary, and I wondered why they didn't discuss that with the Minister of Trade. We have an outstanding working relationship with them. We have consulted them and in fact taken on board their suggestions in almost every policy that we implement at the ministry. We thought that if you have concerns, justified as those concerns may be, you could discuss with us so that the ministry that is tasked with the responsibility of ensuring that businesses run effectively, trading is not, truncated due to some of these things, we could take it up. Unfortunately, they never did it. I met the Secretary General and I said, look, their secretary said, petition the ministry. We are more than willing to sit with you to see how best we can find solution to this. That never happened until only for us to hear in the airwaves that they have gone on strike. But like I said, our interest is not into who did what and who didn't do what. We have a problem at hand. The only thing I am concerned and the ministry is concerned about is to see how we can have a speedy resolution to the problems. We had about 2 hours or 1 hour 30 minutes or 2 hours, a meeting, and a lot of issues came up. Our demand as a ministry was that if they wanted us to have dialogue, if they wanted us to all work together to find solution to this problem, they needed to call off the strike, because you must go into negotiation with some conditions too.
But what did they say were the problems?
Well, I'm coming to that. So when we told them, they said they were going to consult each other. They did that and then came back and also gave some conditions. They said that one, the 3% levy that was paid by people who had smaller businesses. If you have a small business, you don't pay the 17.5% VAT. You pay the 3%.
That was a special import
levy that they were paying the 3%. Now with this 3%, their demand is that they don't want to go to any 17.5%. They want
is the regular VAT.
Yes, they want to remain in the 3%. That is the first demand. The second demand is that the post-clearance audit that is done by Customs and Border, the Ghana Revenue Authority, they would want them to. They are not saying they shouldn't do it, but they shouldn't punish those who are culpable of some of, if you like, deliberate or actions during clearance, and that's what they are demanding.
No,
so if someone with the post clearance, if you have your goods cleared, and maybe you were supposed to pay certain taxes which you couldn't pay,
yes,
and it resulted to, and they do the post clearance after you have cleared the goods, yes, and detect that you were supposed to do ABCD and you didn't do that. Invariably, in a nutshell, evading tax.
Yes,
through
if
that.
you evade, you get
exactly, and they're saying that penalty. Exactly,
penalized.
This was another demand that they made. The other one has to do with the bonded warehousing thing. That if with the introduction of the CET, the common external tariff, it has affected, of course, goods that they import in, and their demand is that goods that they already have in their bonded warehouses shouldn't be affected. But the position
doesn't that make sense though?
The other one was the stamp tax, which they said that it ought to be looked at. They should just scrap it off. And I think that these were the 4 main issues that they raised. They also raised another tax 1%, and they said that they should take it. The point is, if you look at the bonded warehousing thing, the argument that the Ministry of Finance, and for that matter, I have gotten in touch with the ministry, and for that matter, GRA and Customs, the argument they are making is that, look, you bring in goods, you are supposed to pay import duties for the goods you bring into this country. You are not paying the import duties because you don't have the money to pay right away. Now, if we say that if you don't pay, you can't take these goods, okay? One, demurrages may come in and you will be affected. Yeah. If the goods are also left there for some time, they can be confiscated for non-clearance. Now, the bonded warehousing thing is an opportunity that take the goods to a bonded warehouse. As and when the goods are taken out, probably sale, then you pay the taxes. Now, the Ministry of Finance argument is that if you are saying that they shouldn't affect it, now what you are telling me is that it's as if the people have paid the taxes, cleared the goods to the bonded warehouses, and then we are now demanding that they pay. On principle, the goods haven't been cleared from the ports. If you have the goods at the bonded warehousing, on principle,
you haven't cleared them.
On principle, you haven't cleared. So if you are clearing, you need to. I mean, I am just talking about the argument and the counter argument when they raise this issue. The other one with the 3%, the Ministry of Finance position is that, look, it is not that people are still not paying 3%. We haven't scrapped off the 3%. People are still paying the 3%. However, once you exceed the threshold within which you need to pay the special import levy, which is 3%, you will still pay the 3%. But those who have gone beyond that and fall within, the threshold of VAT must pay the 17.5%. My understanding with the meeting we had was that a lot of them are filing, and their argument is that even if they allow them to file at the 3%, so that subsequently they can pay the 17.5%, because it's law. No one can say that you can't, because that's a law. Once you fall within this bracket, you have to pay the 17.5%.
And those demands are still outstanding.
Are still outstanding. Now, they agreed to call off the intended nationwide strike, and that for me was a very good gesture.
When?
Yes, they called it off. They called it off outright.
Okay.
That because of the deliberation. For me, it was a good gesture which we thank and appreciate. However, they said that they were not willing. Our position was the call off every single strike, including the one in Greater Accra. And they said, look, we can call off our intended nationwide strike. We are not going to embark on any nationwide strike. However, the Greater Accra strike would continue on condition, or we'll call it off on condition that these demands are met. I don't have the capacity to grant those demands.
You can only mediate
I can only mediate between them,
and the ministry.
And as a ministry, that is precisely what we're doing. I am supposed to call the Minister of Finance, the Deputy Minister of Finance. I spoke with the Minister, I spoke with the Deputy Minister, we had some discussions. Once I call the Deputy Minister and something concrete comes out, I would inform Guta. Our interest is to ensure that this strike is called off. It is affecting businesses. Of course, it is affecting all of us. Because once businesses are affected, the economy can also be affected. So, and like the point, all the solutions we have, the problems we have gotten solutions to, as far as the ministry is concerned, as far as I am concerned, we have never gotten solution through strikes or through demonstrations. And we have never taken a measure.
Isn't that, I mean, a lot of people will argue against that because, I mean, it appears that sometimes when you see these strike actions, it moves you to resolve a lot of things quicker. If you take this situation, for instance, I mean, here they are looking for all these things to be resolved. It hasn't been now that we have heard people complain about taxes and the incremental rate of taxes. We have heard traders complain all the time about taxes, and so if they are doing that now, or having a strike action now, and now they are being heard.
I disagree, because if you ask the leadership of Guta, they will tell you that we have a 24-hour open day policy with them. We have involved them. I'm coming. I'm saying that we have involved. Yes,
as you are doing
absolutely. We have
now, and when they
Sammy, we have. If you allow me to finish, we have involved them in every single major decision we have taken, as far as the ministry is concerned, on issues bordering on trade and businesses. We have involved them. In fact, most of the policies came as a result of concerns raised by these people.
But Honorable, you also realize that there are times that certain policies don't come from your ministry, trade. Yeah. It comes from other ministries, like the finance ministry. It has a direct impact on trading in this country. And so there are policies, taxes here and there. The CET, for instance, is one of them, coming from customs. And these ones, the traders say, they haven't been fully involved in deliberations.
CET is not coming from the Minister of Finance. Neither is it. Hold on, it's not coming.
It's ECOWAS.
No, exactly.
And it's spearheaded in this country by customs, which is under the Ministry of Finance.
Another.
Here the traders say that this was so abrupt. It's one of the reasons why they are saying that allow them to clear the goods in the bonded warehouse without being affected by the
Sami,
because it was so abrupt that you didn't allow them to clear.
Sami, another misconception, palpable misconception that is put out there is that CET has made taxes to go high. Absolutely not. CET, of course, the introduction of it has resulted in some tax increases. It has also resulted in the reduction of taxes in some other commodities or other goods. What we do as a ministry is to seek the interests of our major stakeholders, in this case, importers, exporters, our traders and others. Now, you understand that taxes are not imposed by the ministry. The only body that has the power, clothed with the legal mandate to impose taxes, is Parliament. Now, as part of the discussion, it was understood that some of their demands, even if they are to be met, cannot be met immediately. Assuming that there's going to be a look at even a tax component. You remember when the Minister of Finance in the budget announced some tax, and His Excellency directed that they should review some of them. It has to go through process. Now, must you continuously be in strike whilst it takes time for the process to be done and completed so you can have a legal authority?
But this process
it was on that basis.
Done even before
no, it was, listen, and once again, Sammy, once again, it will be unfair to customs. When Guta said they were not involved, customs said, no, you were involved, and gave reasons. So I'm saying that it should be unfair, and I wouldn't want to be speaking for customs.
I agree to that.
So the point is that
I know I have witnessed
every single
engagement
exactly that they were there.
And customs have said that.
Yeah.
But you know the point where they raised issue is that yes, they knew these were coming. They understood some of the things. But at the point when custom had agreed with ECOWAS body that these specifics bans are going to be implemented, and what day is going to be implemented, that wasn't communicated.
So I told you that I can't be speaking for custom. I'm only saying that it shouldn't be fair if I go on that tangent and say that yes, they were not involved, yet there wasn't broader consultation. And you remember when this issue came up, our position was that if there wasn't broader consultation, there is still nothing wrong with some consultation to be done, even though we have started the implementation.
And I agree with you that when people get to understand that indeed this is what CET is about, a lot of people don't even know that pharmaceutical products, for instance,
taxes are reduced, zero rating, but they were paying taxes.
Yes,
but they were paying.
Yes,
but they are no longer
out of CET.
Yeah.
So those in the pharmaceutical industry are happy.
AGI has stated clearly they are in support of the introduction of CET and 2, they are not even participating in this industrial action. Okay. But I'm saying that it is not time.
Those who probably got affected because, for instance, goods that we can produce in this country, rice, tomato paste, and things like that, have been affected.
Yeah.
And those who were hitherto importing them definitely will feel, hey, we are losing, even though others are gaining, and the country as a whole is gaining. Those who were importing those items will feel that, see, we are being pushed away. So those people, some level of deep engagement could have gone on.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Our position when this issue came up was that we said that maybe probably we could have had, and if you listen to me, I did indicate that maybe we should have had deeper engagement. We should have even extended. I just want to say that every single seriousness is attached to this. And like I said, the Chief of Staff told me, meet with them, have some discussions, let's find a way and resolve this issue. And we have done that. So I would just say that they should just exercise patience and let's see how best we can find a solution to this. But the necessary steps that we need to take, we are taking those steps so that we can find a solution to this problem.
So we're hoping upon hopes that government will be able to address these issues that are being raised by the trading public so that we prevent as much as possible a nationwide strike, because when there is a strike, businesses suffer, and when businesses suffer, this country suffers. We were fortunate, this country, to host the Group Chief Executive Officer of MAERSK International. The entire MAERSK Group Chief Executive was in this country over the past week and left this country on the 3rd of March. Iron Port, we were fortunate to catch up with him and grant him an exclusive interview, one on the impending port expansion that is coming up. Soon, there should be physical demonstration of that port expansion coming up. So we sat down and talked about that. Also, MAERSK is trying to gain roots in this country as far as the offshore drilling activities is concerned. We sat down to talk to him about all of that. We are going to bring you the lengthy version of that exclusive interview in next week's episode of Iron Port. In the meantime, take a listen to a bit of what he had to tell us.
The Group Chief Executive Officer of MAERSK Group of Companies, Niels S. Anderson, has reiterated MAERSK's strongest commitment to position the MAERSK Group as a long-term operator in Ghana, with interest in the offshore drilling and the shipping sectors in Ghana.
We of course would like to offer more offshore equipment and offshore services. There's a number of good international operators operating in Ghana, and we have very good drill ships available for servicing them. So we're looking at that. We're also looking at our anchor handling and supply vessel operation to see whether we can get some vessels busy here.
Today, MAERSK is celebrating 25 years anniversary as the first shipping company with office in Ghana, connecting Ghana with the rest of the world through effective trade.
The reason why I've been coming a number of times in the last years is, of course, that Ghana's importance to the MAERSK Group. Ghana represents 5% of MAERSK Line's business in Africa, which is quite a lot, and it's a country where we want to invest more.
MAERSK Line and submarine services account for 28% of Ghana's import and 30% export. Since 2007, APM Terminals and JV partners have operated the Tema Terminal, now handling 90% of containers in and out of Ghana. From 2007 to 2015, throughput has more than doubled from 273,000 20-foot TEUs, berthing times resulting in higher port productivity, lower transport cost and increased trade. These achievements merit the GCEO's description of MAERSK's 25 years partnership with Ghana as a very positive and productive one.
And since then, container volumes have more than doubled, almost tripled. So trade in and out of Ghana is doing very well.
Ghana is said to represent 5% of MAERSK Line businesses in Africa. Hence, MAERSK intends to increase its investment in Ghana.
Iron Port returns after the break. Stay with us.
I've got no need to worry. I've got no room for doubt. No matter what's coming at me, you'll always be the beautiful I sing about. There ain't no limitations to your amazing grace. Your amazing grace. And there's something about the way your love shines on my face. Oh no, I can never get enough of you.
Star Assurance, creating smiles since 1985. Let go. Let's celebrate 30 years of solid partnership. Star Assurance, your solid partner.
I'll take care of you. I gotta slow down.
Every time you think of importing goods into Ghana, know that there is a competent team of world-class personnel to cater to your trade needs. Know that there is a help desk you can call with your queries. Know that you can speed up the process of clearing your goods with customs long before they arrive in Ghana. Remember that CCVR, which used to take several days, now only takes 48 hours through the new Customs Pre-Arrival Assessment Reporting System known as PARS. Remember that our staff all over the nation is waiting to serve you. Remember that PARS makes imports into Ghana faster, simpler, safer and easier. Ghana Revenue Authority, committed to serving you better.
Ghana's goil.
Your own goil.
Our own goil.
Ghana's gold.
Goil, goil. In the service of the nation. North, south, east and west. Wherever we put you first. Goil, goil, goil is good energy. Goil is good energy. Services so friendly to the nation. North, south, east and west. We always stand for the best. Goil, goil, goil is good energy. Goil, goil, goil is good energy.
Welcome back from the break. Now, in the past week, West Blue Consulting has been taking the trading community, particularly the port and maritime trading community, through education of a sort on the National Single Window Project that is being executed by this country. Now, this project intends to make trading in the country well facilitated and make it more smoother than we all see it to be. They want you to be able to sit at home and be able to get your goods delivered even to your doorstep without going through all the hustles and bustles that people have complained about. All these education took place over the week at the Royal Century Hotel. Plus more in the news and activities in and around the ports.
West Blue Consulting, an innovative business and IT consulting and technology firm, has schooled stakeholders on trade facilitation to establish a long-term partnership for institutional and nation building. Stakeholders including the Ghana Port and Harbour Authority, Ghana Shippers Authority, Ghana Institute of Freight Forwarders, Customs Division of the Ghana Revenue Authority, Food and Drugs Authority, Ghana Standards Authority, among others, were called upon to identify and analyze all bottlenecks and redundancies in procedural and documentary requirements in the Ghana international trade supply chain. Valentina Minta, CEO of West Blue, said, under the national single window, measures have been put in place for imports and exporters to know the checklist of the various regulatory agencies. This, according to her, will ensure transparency.
So that checklist can then be made available to everybody. If you're on the private sector side, you know that if you're coming in with this commodity X, you may be asked for this sort of sampling. And then all other agencies will also have that common checklist of all the regulatory agencies interested in that particular commodity and what their sample requirement is, so that there's transparency in the process.
The IT manager at GPHA, David Boyson, said the authority is ready to support the framework for smooth implementation of the national single window.
The West Blue team suggested that we can use this model, the TOGAF. Essentially, it is a framework that helps you in defining your architecture, governance, security, etc.
The workshop aimed to recommend a blueprint to improve business processes and IT infrastructure. West Blue Consulting Limited has held a one-day workshop for journalists to sensitize them on the implementation of the national single window. Chief Executive Officer of West Blue, Valentina Minta, said the national single window will ensure a transition from the culture of delay and high cost of doing business to a culture of faster, simpler, automated and predictable means of processing import, export and transit in Ghana.
That African importers and exporters remain uncompetitive in the global business arena is largely attributable in part to the number of days it takes to complete import and export processing and their attendant costs.
She noted that excessive bureaucracy is an impediment to trade facilitation in Africa. An expert in trade facilitation said one-day delay at the border reduces trade by 1%. Currently, he said, Ghana is ranked 171 out of 189 countries by the World Bank with regards to ease of trading across borders, hence the need for a collaboration in order to encourage doing business in Ghana. He said the national single window will improve efficiency and increase government revenue.
The more procedures, the more regulations that are not necessary or are inefficient, the more weight, the more stones I'm putting in the backpack of my exporter. I'm putting a noose around my own exporter's neck. Why would I do that? Why would I burden my own companies in my own country?
All reefer activities have been transferred to the GPHA reefer yard near Dangote in Tema. Hitherto, reefer containers were handled by 3 terminals including the Meridian Port Services due to capacity challenge, but the new GPHA reefer yard has the handling capacity of 840 units with plug-in point, which makes it possible for the yard to receive all reefer containers that come into the Tema port. Iron Port has been tracking the transportation of reefer containers to the new reefer yard and the associated benefits and promised to bring viewers an extensive coverage on the other episodes of Eye on Port.
I've got no need to worry. I've got no room for doubt. No matter what's coming at me, you'll always be the beautiful I sing about. There ain't no limitations to your amazing grace. Your amazing grace. And there's something about the way your love shines on my face. Oh no, I can never get enough of you.
Star Assurance, creating smiles since 1985. Let go. Let's celebrate 30 years of solid partnership. Star Assurance, your solid partner.
I'll take care of you.
I gotta slow down.
Every time you think of importing goods into Ghana, Know that there is a competent team of world-class personnel to cater to your trade need. Know that there is a help desk you can call with your queries. Know that you can speed up the process of clearing your goods with customs long before they arrive in Ghana. Remember that CCVR, which used to take several days, now only takes 48 hours through the new Customs Pre-Arrival Assessment Reporting System known as PARS. Remember that our staff all over the nation is waiting to serve you. Remember that PARS makes imports into Ghana faster, simpler, safer and easier. Ghana Revenue Authority, committed to serving you better.
Ghana's Goyle.
Your own Goyle.
Our own Goyle.
Ghana's own.
I've been buying Goyle for a while now. I get my money's worth every time I buy it from the Goyle station.
Goyle, Goyle is a station that you buy fuel from them. You can work with your fuel the whole day that you don't have any problem.
Goyle there, boy, almost is here.
My children, their cars all they will buy from Goyle. If you don't take the receipt from Goyle, I won't pay back.
Next up are schedules of vessels sitting in the port, those at anchorage and also those coming in the next week. So continue to send your comments to us, and you can also always view any edition of Eye on Port you have missed via our YouTube address that you can also see scrolling beneath the screens there. That's Eye on Port on YouTube.com, Eye on Port on YouTube.com. Always available, the editions, the various editions of Eye on Port. So far we have about 48 episodes, and all of them are on YouTube. If you're interested, always get back and get to know a lot more about the port's activities. On that note, we say thank you for watching the program. Next week, we're going to feature the full interview with the Group Chief Executive Officer of MAERSK International. Also, the port has begun using the new reefer yard. That means that all reefer terminals have handed the reefer activities to the Ghana Ports and Harbours Authority, and all reefer containers go straight to this new yard. We are going to follow a particular reefer container as it's discharged from a vessel all the way through the various processes to this new yard. All that will come up next week. Thank you for watching, and thanks to the crew, Godwin Kabute, Joe Lavo, Solomon Anderson, the executive producer, Paul Asariansa, as well as Abna Sewa Opoku Fosu. Thank you for watching.